So the first item we're going to talk about today is our platform swing. This item is great for equilibrium, proprioception, and vestibular input with kiddos. When using this, we want to keep in mind that if we are dealing with kids that have a seizure disorder or issues with vestibular input or autonomic reactions to that kind of input, we want to make sure it's well regulated by medication, because if it's not, then this would not be an appropriate item to have them use. The really fun thing with the platform swing is that we can use it a lot for helping work on trunk control and stability with kids, and it's a really easy way to make this intervention play-based. We can look at making a game like fly to go get the objects and save people because you're a dragon and stuff like that. So let's get started with setting this up. When we're getting this set up, we want to make sure that we've checked all of our equipment and that's safe. Our carabiner here, the clip should be at the top and not at the bottom so it doesn't unclip in the middle of it being used. When picking up the platform swing, we want to make sure we're using our legs and not our back. So good biomechanics. You place it under your arm, and I come over to my height adjuster here, and I will move it down to eye level and hook it on. So once I have that hooked on, I move the height adjuster up as far as needed. For children using this, the platform should be about mid-shin for them. So that's about mid-shin for me. And then when we're going ahead and taking this down, we again want to keep good biomechanics in mind by lifting with our legs. And then I will reach up to my height adjuster again and bring it down to my eye level. Unclip it and just go ahead and lay it down. Okay, so for our next one we're going to talk about the cuddle swing. This swing is really great for working with proprioceptive, tactile, deep pressure, and equilibrium with kids. Really nice feature of this swing is that if a child's overstimulated, this allows them to pull it over their eyes, so we can help to block out the excessive stimuli that might be overwhelming them in a session. Another really nice feature is that with this swing, even children that are younger can have a caregiver or adult sit in it with them like their parents. So they could also utilize this swing. One thing to keep in mind, again, when we're using these swings, that children with seizures and other conditions that might affect them while using a swing need to be medicated and have their conditions under control. Also, we need to be aware for the autonomic reactions such as the hiccuping, sweating, possibly even flatulation. Like, we just need to keep that in mind so that if that is occurring, we need to either take a break from the swing or stop altogether. Also, when we have children sitting in the swing, we need to be aware of their legs hanging out over the edge. We don't want to have them sitting in that position for extended periods of time, as this fabric has no give to it. So that can cause just discomfort and potential issues. So just being mindful of that. So now for putting this on, we're going to have this eye level with our carabiner with the clip at the top, not at the bottom, so it doesn't clip off while we're using it. We're going to hook it to our height adjuster and move the height adjuster up to the appropriate level for the child, again, which would be about mid-shin, or just until the bottom of the swing is not brushing at the ground when they're in it. And when we're using it, we have the opportunity to do big swings with the children, which is great for regulating them. We can make this a game like you're a rocket ship and you're shooting through the sky and outer space, and things of that nature. This is a really great play-based activity. And then we just move our height adjuster down to eye level, unhook it, and that is how we use the cuddle swing. Okay, so this is the prone scooter board. This is great for kids that are presenting with low tone and are not overly responsive to stimuli. This is also great for producing arousal and working on neck and trunk control and strengthening their core. This is also great for helping with motor planning and disassociation with kids. So there are various sizes of the prone scooter board based off of the size of the children needs. Maybe this could potentially pose as an up or downgrade to have a larger, smaller size based off of whatever base of support they need. So a really great way to use this board would be to have objects placed throughout the room where a child would have to go and collect them, sort of as a scavenger hunt, and then they would have to bring the items back, and this helps with that self-propelling on the board. When we're using this board, it's really important to keep in mind that we need to have 3 points of contact. So that would look like having contact at the front, contact on the child, and then contact at the back of the board at all times. Also, when we are not using this board, it's important that we have it facing downwards so the wheels are not on the ground. And this is just really important when we have kiddos that are maybe a little bit more overly aggressive and might run around and try to play with things that are not supposed to be used at the moment, and this just could cause injury because they might fall or trip or have it slide out from under them. Okay, so this is our therapy ball. I'm gonna have our friend Johnny here help me demonstrate it. The therapy ball is really great for testing equilibrium, helping with postural control and stability. It's great for balance and checking for protective reflexes. So a way we could potentially downgrade this for kids, that maybe this type of ball would be too advanced for them, is by using the peanut ball. That would just provide a wider base of support for the kiddos. We just want to keep in mind that when we're using the therapy ball, especially when our kids have their feet off the ground, that we have our leg, we're in a half squat position where we have one leg behind the ball. So then we are able to have 2 hands on the kids at all times, and this ball can just help move, your leg behind the ball can help move it around as needed. We just also want to make sure we always have contact with our kids, and if we see any autonomic responses happening, such as the flushing, sweating, hiccuping, we want to be done and take a break from this. This ball is really great. We can work on having toys out in front of the kids that they reach for, and we can also play games with them and have high reward items out in front of them that makes them want to reach for it. Okay, so this is a weighted toy. This is really great for proprioception, and this can help our kiddos to habituate and regulate during our sessions. So there are various types of weighted toys or weighted materials. This is a toy, for example, but there are also options such as clothing items and blankets, which are really great for sleep. However, if we are having our kiddos sleep with these items, we need to be aware that we're not just leaving them completely unattended with these. They need to be checked in on every 20 minutes. And we also need to keep in mind that the weight of these objects cannot exceed 10% of their body weight. So a really great way we could use this in session for play, for example, is being like, if your puppy wants to give you a hug, give your puppy a big squeeze. And then that would be a great way to have kiddos use these weighted objects.
Go.
Hi there. Okay, hi Mom. So I'm gonna have you sit down, okay? I'm gonna put her on the wedge, and we're gonna go ahead and have you hold her favorite toy here, and we'll just work on her tummy control and getting her to reach out for that toy while you're holding it for her in front of her. I'm hoping that since you'll be here and you'll be having such a high reward toy for her, she'll be encouraged to reach out and start reaching for it, and maybe we can start encouraging her to explore her environment. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect.
All right, let's get going. Are we ready? Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. All right, here we go. All right, Mom, and then if you just want to kind of sit in front of her here, and if you could just have her reach for that toy.
Come on, Paula.
What's Mom have?
Look at the toy.
What does Mom have?
Look, it's your favorite toy.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
Teddy.
Does Mom have her favorite toy over there? What is that? Oh, good job. Good reaching for the toy. That's so good. And then, Mom, if we could also hold it out a little bit to the side and move it around.
Right.
Oh, that's good. And Mom, maybe even moving closer so we're a little bit closer to her. So it's more encouraging. A little bit closer, Mom. Closer. Yeah, you got your toy. Great job. Okay, that was really good. All right. Hi, Mom. So here's what we're going to do now. This is what we call a cuddle swing, because you mentioned that Paolo doesn't like it when there's a lot of things going on. You said she's a little bit fussy when we're doing things like, at Mommy and Me, I think you mentioned like flashing lights and loud noises kind of upsets her.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I also think you also mentioned she likes to be held a lot.
Yeah, she cries if I don't hold her.
Okay, so a really cool thing about this swing is we call it the cuddle swing, like I just said, and then it's got this really nice fabric that doesn't have a ton of give, so it gives kids a lot of that tactile input, which is basically just that feeling of being like snug as a bug. So that's probably a feeling that she likes, since she likes to be held by you so much. So this might be a really nice thing for her to help her relax. And also really nice things when she's in the swing, we can close it, and then that can also help reduce that stimuli that might be upsetting her. So those flashing lights, those loud noises, we can kind of reduce that for her by getting the swing to close up, and then we can bring that back to a calming environment for her, and we can help regulate her. And a lot of kids really like that swinging sensation. So she is a teeny bit young to be doing this on her own. So if you're comfortable, I'd like you to get in the swing with her, and we can go ahead and you guys can sit in it, we'll close it, and we'll just do a little bit of swinging and see how she does with it. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
All right, great. Just whenever you're comfortable, you can go ahead and back into it.
Okay.
And you'll feel a bit of a dip.
All right, let's go.
Here we go, honey. You're gonna swing with Mom. Yeah?
Ooh, it is snug.
Snug, yeah. How is she doing?
She's
You're
good.
in the swing with Mom? All right, I'm just gonna kind of close this here.
Okay.
And then how's the light in there?
Pretty good.
All right, and then we'll just do a little bit of swinging. All right, great. How was that?
That was good.
All
I
right,
didn't even
great.
cry.
All right. Hello, my name is Sophie Hepp, and today I wanted to share my reflections on our recent experience of working with our OTA colleagues. One of the key factors that I've really been reflecting on since the experience was my comfort level in a supervisory role as an OT. I do think I found it challenging to take on that responsibility, especially when working with someone where maybe we would be more in a leadership position with them. I think mainly my level of discomfort with that came from inexperience. This was my first time really having to experience being in a role like that. However, I do think as the experience progressed, I began to become more comfortable with the role. And I think that becoming more comfortable with this position in the future will come with some time and experience. Regarding the interpersonal strategies I used during this experience, I would say communication was a huge factor. It was important for me to make sure that my colleague and I were both on the same page when we were discussing our intervention strategies. And one thing that I think really worked well for both of us was we were very comfortable discussing and debating why we felt a certain way about certain strategies and how we thought that that would be beneficial for the client that we were working on. So I think we had a very comfortable give and take situation with discussing possible interventions that we both felt were beneficial to our client. And as I'm looking back on this experience, I really do think I can comfortably say that I found a lot of benefit within it. And I really could see myself using the skills that I used that day in my future practice as an occupational therapist. I think the skills gained was definitely seeing how important the communication aspect is and being willing to voice your opinion, as well as making sure that you're hearing others' opinions, because while we have such a great thing that we can bring to the table, we have to keep in mind our colleagues do as well. So I think working in that setting and seeing that not only did I have ideas, but my colleague also had ideas that brought a lot of benefit and even helped me in times when I wasn't thinking a certain way, and she brought in another insight was really helpful. And I think it was nice to see how when we collaborate with someone else, we can really open up and have room for a lot of growth, and it can add a lot to our interventions. And I think that's something I really like to keep in mind in my future practice as an OT, is keeping in mind the value my colleagues bring and how this could help me in my future practice a lot, to keep that in mind and to utilize that as a tool in the future. overall, I think it was a great experience, and I thank you so much for listening to my reflection on it, and I really do look forward to working to apply these insights into my future practice as an occupational therapist. Thank you so much.